You've likely heard of Green Knights, Fey Knights, Horned Knights. The list goes on, but they're all pointing to the Oath of Ancients. Hey fellow Game Masters, I'm Richard Quiner, and welcome back to the RPG Daily, your daily dose of all things tabletop role-playing games, helping you build your world and master your game. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so and hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. Also check out the Discord channel and join me on Instagram where I upload other content, alternating days between YouTube and Instagram. Today we're talking about the Paladins' Oath of the Ancients. This oath itself is ancient, like really ancient. It goes back to the beginning of civilization itself and man's conflict with nature in those early days, and these are the paladins and knights who have sworn to protect nature and all things good and beautiful in the world. This oath to aid nature is kind of what makes the Oath of the Ancients who they are, oftentimes decorating their armor with natural things, horns, leaves, skins of animals, stuff like that. So let's kick this off by talking about the tenets of the Oath of the Ancients. Tenets are basic beliefs that all paladins within an oath hold in their heart and they believe firmly. For the Oath of the Ancients, we have a big theme about being the light of the world, and the first tenet is kindle the light. You want to help grow the light of the world and share it through your good acts and deeds. Next is shelter the light, which is when you find that light, be it in a person or a community or in an animal, you want to defend that light and make sure it has the time to grow to help out the world. Next is preserve the light, which is the idea that you yourself as this paladin have the light inside you, and you should take the time to enjoy the good things in life and nurture that good light that you have inside you. And last is be the light, which is bringing joy and goodness to everyone around you. And it's really just about being a good person. The Oath of the Ancients is an interesting oath that has very much a nature theme to it, as we'll see as we go through the oath spells and the different features of this class, but keep an eye on that. I think it's kind of interesting. At level 3, you gain your oath spells, which are similar to the cleric spells. These are spells that you always have prepared. They do not count against your prepared spells list, and they always count as paladin spells no matter which list they originally came from. Each oath has a different set of oath spells. For the Oath of the Ancients at level 3, you're getting Ensnaring Strike and Speak with Animals. Speak with Animals is a simple spell that lets you communicate with animals for up to 10 minutes. It's not a perfect communication, like it's not a back and forth conversation with details and real information. It's more sharing sentiments and feelings and this basic kind of stuff. At level 5, you're going to get Misty Step and Moonbeam. Moonbeam is an area of effect spell that you summon down this pillar of moonlight that damages any creature that's inside it. It's very powerful. Be careful with it. At level 9, you get Plant Growth and Protection from Energy. Plant Growth is a really unique spell that actually has 2 different effects depending on how long you cast the spell for. The first effect is causing an immediate short-term effect of plants kind of overgrowing an area. It's a much smaller area, but the long-term effect, if you spend more time casting this spell, means that a larger area will have a better harvest of food, crops, later on when it's harvest time. At level 13, you're getting the spells Ice Storm and Stone Skin. Ice Storm is one that creates a 20-foot radius by 40-foot tall pillar of hail and ice that rains down in the area, creating difficult terrain for anyone who's in it, as well as damaging them. At level 17, you get the spells Commune with Nature and Tree Stride. Commune with Nature is an interesting one that lets you actually connect with the nature of an area, the flora and fauna of the area, and find out information about what has happened in that area in recent times, or what could be happening nearby. You connect with this nature, you're able to get information on 3 out of 5 subjects listed in the spells manual in the player handbook. Make sure you read all the options you have. It's not a perfect information, but it's pretty useful. When you're outdoors casting Commune with Nature, you get a much larger area than you do if you're for example, in a cave. The outdoor range being information about an area 3 miles all around you, while being inside a cave or something like that only gives you information of about 300 feet around you. So they're very different spells depending on where you cast it. Also at level 3, you're getting your Channel Divinity abilities. Make sure you read up on these because every oath has different Channel Divinity abilities. The first of this oath's Channel Divinities is Nature's Wrath, which lets you summon spectral vines from a ground at a creature within 10 feet of you. You do this as an action, and your target creature has to make either a strength or dexterity saving throw. If they fail that throw, they are restrained for the duration of the spell, with the opportunity to try and break free of the spectral vine's grasp on their turns. The other Channel Divinity is called Turn the Faithless. Another one similar to Turn Undead. This Turn the Faithless affects Fae and Fiends which are within your area. As an action, you present your holy symbol, speak the incantation, and then any Fae or Fiends within 30 feet of you have to make a Wisdom saving throw. If they fail that saving throw, they are turned. Turned creatures have to use all their turn basically to try to get away from you. They are allowed to move on their turns, but they can only use their action in order to dash to get further away from you. They do not have the option to use reactions at any point either. This effect lasts for 1 minute or until that creature is damaged, possibly by one of your party members. It really doesn't give them the chance to try and save to be unturned. At level 7, you get the feature Aura of Warding, which expands on your auras, as I like to have happen at level 7. This time you are able to give yourself and your allies within your aura resistance to damage from all spells. This is pretty potent, especially if you're in an area with a lot of spellcasters and that is the main damage dealing. Having this aura at your disposal would be very priceless in that situation. At level 15, you get the features Undying Sentinel, which this one is similar to a lot of other classes or races have similar things. Half-orcs have something similar to this. All this means is if you are dropped down to 0 HP in any point in combat and not killed outright by taking a larger amount of damage, instead of dropping to just 0 hit points and being unconscious, you will bounce back up to 1 hit point and stay on your feet. You can use this feature once per long rest. In addition to that, though, old age doesn't really affect you, and you cannot be aged through magical means, which I've seen happen a couple times in games. It's a doozy. At level 20, you're getting the feature Elder Champion, which this is the time where you get to literally change into an avatar of your oath, this case being a nature. You can grow antlers, have a green skin, maybe have a bark skin. It's really up to you what the physical transformation will be. I should also mention you do this transformation as an action, but the bonuses are for the next 1 minute at the beginning of each of your turns, you're going to regain 10 hit points. Pretty straightforward there. If you have any paladin spells that take 1 action to cast, you can instead cast them as a bonus action. And if you have any enemy creatures who are within 10 feet of you, they will have disadvantage on any saving throws versus spells or Channel Divinity abilities. When I looked back at the Cleric and the Nature Domain, I really wasn't a fan of that subclass. This one has a little more interest for me. Maybe it's because they like to be called the Green Knight, and that was a really interesting story when I was growing up. Maybe that has everything to do with it. I like this oath for flavor more than anything else. Mechanically speaking, it does have some themes, but it's not as strong of a theme as, for example, the Oath of Redemption might have been, or where the mechanics really play into a certain playstyle. This one lets you kind of control how you're going to play it, and I think that's kind of interesting. I do like the idea, though, that you have a oath that is based on protecting and defending nature, and if you were to take that oath type paladin and drop them in an urban environment, perhaps, or even out in an outlander running around outside, far from any civilization kind of environment, they can still thrive in either way. The urban, you would have the nice conflict of civilization and the nature-based paladin, versus being outside and in a survival situation, it would just be their kind of their domain, their comfort zone, so to speak. So I think it could thrive in either situation and make good stories there. It's really interesting to me, the idea of being a half-orc and being this Oath of the Ancients, because in my opinion, there you would have the orc side of it, the half-orc side that lets you bounce back to 0 HP, or bounce back to 1 HP, I should say, once per day. from their racial feat, and then you add on to that at a higher level, you get this Undying Sentinel, which lets you do it. But because they're different feats, I feel like you would get to do that twice a day then at that point, which could be pretty good, but you have to survive to level 17 to really take that into account. Either way, it's an interesting oath. I think it could be fun to play, but I also feel like it's probably not that popular. I haven't really heard many people talking about playing the Oath of Ancients, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I've been Richard, thanks for watching.